Hello, my name is Kyle and welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Joe Biden going to Southern California yesterday, talking about he will get impeached if the Republicans gain control of the House and the Senate. Right here, you see on Real Clear Politics, his disapproval numbers and approval numbers are going in opposite direction, plus 12.6 in terms of disapproval over approval. And you can see that is trending in the opposite direction.
I'm already being told if they win back the House and Senate, they're going to impeach me. I don't know what the hell they're impeaching me for. No, I'm not joking. And then recently they said we should stop talking about that until we win. Well, all kidding aside, think about it. So much is at stake, but I've never been more optimistic in my life about that.
You're right, Joe. There is so much at stake, and you don't know what the heck you're talking about. So let's go into this little article here from the Gateway Pundit. It says his meds finally wore off. Earlier this year, Ted Cruz said the same thing, that Biden will be impeached if the Republicans take back the House since the Democrats weaponized impeachment with Trump. He said, quote, "What's good for the goose is good for the gander." Biden's last-minute pitch to voters was, "Help me because I'm going to be impeached." So that is the strategy, and he wants to know why he's being impeached. We have several reasons right here. You can read them on the screen for you right here. I'll be doing a video on all of these at some point to talk about that, especially after Tuesday. All right, now let's go to Real Clear Politics, because what we have here is an aggregate poll of the issues of all the polls coming together by issue. And these are what Americans care about. And I just wanted to show you this here to show you these are all the average polls that are out there aggregated to an average. Right now, the job approval rating for the economy is negative 19.8. The approval for foreign policy, negative 12.7. The approval on immigration, negative 24.4. Remember, this is Politico. This is Harris. This is CNN. This is Monmouth. This is YouGov. All right? On inflation, negative 27. On crime, negative 18. On the handling of Russia, Ukraine, negative 4. Or really 8, really, if you round it up. And here are the only two things that he isn't a positive of is right here. That is the COOF, and it is right there, the pro-life argument. Okay, so that is it. Everything else is not there. So let's take a look at what Biden talked about on his closing argument speech this week. This is what he didn't talk about. He didn't talk about the border, which, by the way, that was a huge problem here, negative 24. He didn't talk about inflation. That here is, let's see, inflation is negative 27. He didn't talk about supply chain or gas prices. That goes with the economy. He didn't talk about China or foreign policy. He didn't talk about education, military, police, or fentanyl. And by the way, those last two, crime and the police, those last two, fentanyl and crime, that right there is negative 18. So of the issues that the American public cared about the most, Biden didn't talk about any of them. Let's go over to another poll here, direction of the country. You hear here, 67.7% say it's on the wrong track, and 25.6% say it's in the right track. And again, those numbers are going in opposite directions, trending the way Joe Biden doesn't want you to see. Here we have Rasmussen. What's the most important issue to your midterm vote? All voters, inflation. Republicans, inflation. Independents, inflation. And Democrats, abortion. Okay, so you can see where everything, it doesn't blend. So the Democrats themselves are in some little pango land that they don't understand. They don't understand real life issues. They're mostly dealing with arbitrary issues that have nothing to do with their day-to-day lives. And there's this concept called Maslow's law of dependency, or whatever it's called. I know I'm probably saying it the wrong way, but it's basically the philosophy that you have to meet your basic needs. And the basic needs of people are not being met. And so they're going to respond directly if they can't put gas in the car, if they don't feel safe, and if they don't know where the next meal is going to come from, then they're going to vote for the party that's going to give that to them. And if you want to talk about crime, particularly with the border, That's going out of control. And that's one of the reasons why people think that they may impeach Biden for not protecting the border. That is a constitutional issue. This isn't something like Andrew Johnson back in 1868 when they impeached him for a procedural crime with Edwin Stanton, the Secretary of War, being fired, and basically because he basically a wishy-washy president, he didn't want to adhere to Reconstruction laws. That was more or less a political impeachment. Clinton was pretty much a political impeachment as well, even though he hung himself by lying. He didn't have to. And then, of course, Trump, both of those were lies, but they were directly political in nature. This particular time of impeaching Biden would be, in my opinion, 100% constitutional based on the border crisis alone. Now, just know, impeachment doesn't mean indictment. Impeachment is like a grand jury. Is there enough evidence to determine, is there a crime committed, high crime and treason, that sort of thing? If so, then they can take it up to the Senate and then go from there for the conviction and to the ultimate trial. So that's what Joe Biden is afraid of. He's afraid that the same thing's going to happen to him, happen to Trump. Unfortunately for him, there's actually real grounds for impeachment for Biden. So my thought is, if it's constitutional, you should do it. And if there's real crime, it should be done. And by all means, I think the Republicans should do it. If presented the opportunity to do so, I think they should. But of course, the other side will say, well, you're just retaliating because of Trump. Well, no, Biden is just he's just horrible at what he's doing right now. So what are your thoughts on that? I'd be curious to know what you think. And also, take a look at this video right here as we talk more about Biden and his incompetency.